roots of Girard Perregaux go back to Jean-François Boat, a Genevan watchmaker jeweler who put his name to his first timepiece in 1791. Of modest origins, he had to work from the age of 12. He took apprenticeships as a casemaker, jeweler, goldsmith and watchmaker in succession. With a quick and passionate mind, and combining a craftsman's qualities with a knack for business, he developed his own company, which employed up to 300 people. Boat was quite simply the most famous of Geneva's watchmakers. Upon his death in 1837, his son and son-in-law took over. The name Girard Perregaux originated from a union of Constant Girard and Marie Perregaux in 1854. It is impossible to bring up his memory without mentioning his masterpiece, the famous tourbillon with 3 gold bridges. An excellent watchmaker, Constant Girard then took an interest in the tourbillon. Initially, like all his colleagues, he used standard movements and grafted on his tourbillon. One of his watches, distinguished in the Paris Universal Exhibition in 1867, had been tested beforehand by the Neuchâtel Observatory, where it achieved record results, which would not be equaled for decades to come. For the 1889 Universal Exhibition, Constant Girard prepared his masterpiece, a tourbillon housed in a movement with a sublime symmetrical architecture and with 3 arrow-shaped gold bridges, which he had patented in 1884. The movement ceased to be a solely technical component, but also contributed to the aesthetics of the watch. In recognition of this, the tourbillon with 3 gold bridges won the gold medal at the Universal Exhibition. On another level, we are indebted to Girard Perregaux for the creation of the first purely utility watch. In 1880, the manufacturer supplied the German army with a series of 1,000 watches intended for its officers. For quick reading, it was worn on the wrist rather than in the pocket. This was the ancestor of what has become the only form of watchmaking, the wristwatch. Like Boat, Constant Girard was a shrewd businessman. To control the big American market, he opened a sales outlet in Buenos Aires, where he sent his brother-in-law, Henri Perregaux, and entrusted the representation of Girard Perregaux in Asia to François Perregaux, another of his brothers-in-law, who would set up in Singapore and then Yokohama. The excellence of Constant Girard's work was such that from 1901, the brand would be excluded from competitive classification in Universal Exhibitions and be appointed a jury member. One of Constant Girard's sons, Louis Constant, took management of the company upon the death of his father in 1903. In 1928, Otto Greff, already the owner of the brand Mimo, purchased Girard Perregaux. Under his drive, the brand would enjoy a period of exceptional growth, primarily in North America. In 1936, a subsidiary was set up in New York. It was in 1953 that Girard Perregaux set up a genuine research department, to which we owe in particular the Gyromatic, an extra-thin self-winding system. And then, in 1965, the first high-frequency movement with 36,000 vibrations per hour. This feat earned official recognition, with Girard Perregaux receiving the Centenary Prize of the Neuchâtel Observatory in 1966. In the spring of 1970, a revolution was brewing. Girard Perregaux presented the first quartz watch industrially produced in Switzerland. It was also the first in the world to be equipped with a movement in which quartz vibrated at 32,768 Hz, the frequency universally adopted by all manufacturers. Like Girard Perregaux, the entire Swiss watchmaking industry launched into this new technology, which provided an easy way of making reliable and accurate movements. However, after two outstanding innovations in the field of quartz, Girard Perregaux decided to turn back the focus of its research to the field of mechanical watches. The first creation in this field was a re-release of the tourbillon with 3 gold bridges, a pocket watch identical to Constant Girard's masterpiece. Then in 1991, its bicentenary year, Girard Perregaux presented the first wristwatch version of the mythical tourbillon with 3 gold bridges. Its characteristic movement became an instantly recognizable feature, even more so than with the pocket watch. In parallel, driven by Luigi Macaluso, the owner of the company since 1992, the research department was working on 2 new self-winding movements. Presented in 1994, the GP3000 and GP3100 would form the basis for many developments. The same year saw the beginning of a partnership with the prestigious car manufacturer Ferrari, which would last 10 years. 1999 saw the inauguration of the Girard Perregaux Museum in the Villa Marguerite, built in 1918. A collection of ancient timepieces, a treasure put together over the course of half a century, was put on display in a setting worthy of its exceptional value. Also in 1999, the tourbillon with 3 gold bridges was equipped with an invisible self-winding system. The miniaturization process undertaken in the design of new movements made it possible to offer a lady's self-winding chronograph. Over the following years, many technical innovations were presented, including a large date display system and a world time chronograph, or ladies' watch movements with special functions such as the moon phases or power reserve indicator. They would earn several prizes. In 2004, Girard Perregaux inaugurated its first boutique. Located in Gstaad, it aimed to be a genuine window on the brand. Since 2006, a range of quartz movements and 2 self-winding movements, one for ladies' watches and the other for larger diameter watches, were unveiled, and the tourbillon with 3 gold bridges underwent another evolution, with bridges cut in sapphire. History is constantly repeating itself. At Girard Perregaux, this is manifested in an inexhaustible desire to push back the limits of this fascinating watchmaking world again and again.